6 must-use Apple Intelligence features you need to try right now. It's fascinating how Apple continues to dominate tech conversations, but not always for the reasons you'd expect. Right now, much of the buzz is centered around the colors and rumored features of upcoming iPhone 17 models, rather than the progress of Apple Intelligence, a relief, perhaps, for those within the company who have been navigating recent challenges. But here's the twist: despite its stumbles, Apple Intelligence isn't a failure. In fact, it's quietly becoming a tool I rely on every day. And this is the part most people miss: it's not about flashy gimmicks, it's about small, meaningful improvements that make life easier. So, what exactly are these features? Let's dive into the 6 Apple Intelligence tools I use regularly. These aren't the headline-grabbing ones like Image Playground, which, don't get me wrong, is fun, but rather the subtle, practical helpers that streamline my daily routine. If you own a compatible device, an iPhone 15 Pro, iPhone 16, iPhone 16 Pro, or their Plus and Max variants, you'll want to hear about these. They're just the beginning of Apple's AI journey, as more features will roll out over time. Keep in mind, though, that Apple Intelligence is still in beta, so expect some growing pains. But here's where it gets controversial: not everyone is sold on Apple Intelligence. Some users feel it's underwhelming or too early to adopt. If you're in that camp, no worries. Apple gives you the option to turn it off entirely or customize which features you want to use. Now, let's explore these 6 game-changing tools. First up is Priority Notifications, a feature that's quickly become one of my favorites. Imagine this: you're bombarded with notifications all day, but suddenly, an alert pops to the top of your lock screen because it's deemed more urgent than the rest. That's exactly what Priority Notifications does. Whether it's a severe weather warning, a text from a close contact, or an email flagged with an impending deadline, the system uses AI to elevate what matters most. To enable it, head to Settings, Notifications, Prioritize Notifications and toggle it on. You can even fine-tune which apps trigger priority alerts. Sure, it's not perfect, but it's a promising start. Next, let's talk about Summaries, a feature that brings the "too long, didn't read" ethos to your digital life. We live in an age of information overload, where skimming is often the only way to keep up. With Apple Intelligence, your phone can summarize emails, texts, web pages, and even third-party app notifications. For instance, when a group chat blows up, your iPhone generates a concise one-liner to give you the gist. Sometimes these summaries are hilariously off-base, but more often than not, they save time. You can also generate longer summaries in the Mail app by tapping the Summarize button or in Safari using the Reader mode. Just be warned, Apple Intelligence struggles with sarcasm and slang, so adjust your expectations, or turn summaries off if they annoy you. Now, let's shift to Siri, Apple's longtime virtual assistant. While the iOS 18 launch didn't include the flashy full-screen animations many expected, the updated Siri experience rolled out with iOS 18.1. It's sleeker, smarter, and more forgiving when you stumble through commands. Need to interrupt yourself mid-query? No problem. Want to ask follow-up questions after receiving results? Siri's got you covered. However, personalized answers based on your habits and preferences are still on the horizon. What is available now is integration with ChatGPT, giving you access to an alternative knowledge source when Siri falls short. And here's a bonus: you don't need a ChatGPT account to use it. Speaking of Siri, my favorite new trick is invoking her silently. Picture this: you're at home, surrounded by devices, and saying, "Hey Siri," triggers every gadget in earshot. Or maybe, like me, you're self-conscious about speaking to your phone in public. Enter Tap to Siri, a discreet way to summon the assistant without uttering a word. Simply double-tap the bottom edge of your screen to bring up the Siri search bar and keyboard. On a Mac, you can set a custom keyboard shortcut under System Settings, Apple Intelligence and Siri. Sure, typing takes a bit more effort, but it ensures precision and avoids awkward moments. Another standout feature is Clean Up, a nifty addition to the Photos app. Before iOS 18.1, removing distractions from photos required third-party apps or hopping over to a Mac. Now, Apple Intelligence lets you edit directly on your phone. Tap the Cleanup button while editing an image, and the app highlights potential distractions for removal. Draw a circle around something, a stray piece of litter, for example, and the AI erases it, filling in the gap with plausible pixels. Is it flawless? Not yet. But for quick fixes, it's incredibly handy. Finally, there's Reduce Interruptions Focus Mode, a smarter way to manage notifications. Focus modes have always been great for blocking distractions, but Apple Intelligence takes it a step further. When enabled, this mode acts as a dynamic filter, letting through only the most relevant alerts, even if they don't meet your predefined criteria. For instance, I've noticed weather warnings and bank transaction notifications slipping through, which I appreciate. To activate it, open Control Center, tap the Focus button, and select Reduce Interruptions. Of course, Apple Intelligence is still evolving, and not everyone is convinced it's worth the hype. Are these features genuinely useful, or are they just novelties? Should you wait for future updates before diving in? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear whether you find these tools indispensable or overrated. Apple Intelligence, privacy-focused AI for iPhone and Mac. In today's tech landscape, artificial intelligence has taken center stage, captivating users worldwide. However, a significant concern remains: privacy. Most AI services rely on cloud-based models, meaning your interactions are stored on servers, potentially compromising your data. Apple, known for its steadfast commitment to user privacy, has approached AI differently. Let's delve into how Apple Intelligence maintains your privacy while delivering cutting-edge features. One of Apple's key strategies is the use of on-device models. This approach ensures that your data stays on your device, not on distant servers. To leverage these models, you need a relatively recent Apple device, such as an IPH. Exploring Apple Intelligence, Foundation Language Models 2025. Imagine waking up to an AI assistant that not only understands your voice in multiple languages but also crafts playful images for your kids and simplifies your app interactions, all while protecting your privacy. Welcome to the cutting edge of Apple's AI innovations, where two groundbreaking language models are redefining what's possible on your devices and in the cloud. But here's the twist: achieving this balance between power, privacy, and responsibility is no small feat. Let's dive into the tech behind Apple's latest breakthroughs. In 2025, Apple unveiled two multilingual, multimodal foundation models designed to fuel its intelligence features. The first is a 3 billion parameter on-device model tailored for Apple Silicon, leveraging architectural tricks like KV cache sharing, which optimizes memory usage by sharing key-value pairs across layers, and 2-bit quantization-aware training, a technique to reduce computational demands without sacrificing accuracy. The second is a scalable server model built on parallel track mixture of experts, PTMOE, a transformer architecture that combines 1. Track parallelism, processing different data paths simultaneously. 2. Mixture of expert sparse computation, only activating relevant expert neural networks for specific tasks, and 3. Interleaved global, local attention, balancing broad context with fine-grained focus. This server model thrives on Apple's private cloud compute, offering high quality at lower costs. Both models were trained on vast datasets sourced from responsible web crawling, licensed texts, and high-quality synthetic data, generated to fill gaps in real-world examples, e.g., rare languages or edge cases. The training process included supervised fine-tuning and reinforcement learning on an asynchronous platform, enabling the models to learn from feedback. The result? Models that support more languages, understand images, and execute tool commands seamlessly. In public benchmarks, they matched or outperformed similarly sized open-source baselines, a significant feat given their efficiency focus. For developers, Apple introduced a Swift-centric foundation models framework that simplifies integration with just a few lines of code. This framework offers guided text generation, constrained tool calling, to prevent misuse, and LoRa adapter fine-tuning, a lightweight way to adapt models to new tasks without full retraining. But what about ethics? Apple's responsible AI approach shines here, with safeguards like content filtering, locale-specific evaluations, and private cloud compute innovations that keep data encrypted and on-device processing prioritized. This isn't just about tech, it's about trust. ####the bigger picture. At WWDC 2024, Apple Intelligence was unveiled as a personal system integrated into iOS 18, iPadOS 18, and macOS Sequoia. Its foundation models aren't generic, they're specialized for everyday tasks like auto-summarizing notifications, generating images for family chats, or streamlining app interactions. The on-device model's efficiency means less latency and more privacy, while the server model handles complex, cloud-backed tasks without exposing raw user data. ###The controversy, on-device versus cloud. Critics argue that on-device models, despite advancements, may lag behind cloud giants in raw capability. Supporters counter that privacy gains outweigh this trade-off. But here's the question: can Apple's PTMOE server model truly compete with open-source behemoths while keeping costs and carbon footprints low? The answer lies in its novel architecture, which reduces computational waste by only activating relevant neural pathways. ###your turn. Do you think the future of AI should prioritize on-device privacy or cloud-driven power? Is synthetic data a reliable substitute for real-world examples, or does it risk bias? Read the full technical deep dive at mckinneylearning.apple.com, https://mckinneylearning.apple.com, and weigh in below.